Welcome to the My Creative Days podcast, where we will talk about all things DIY, home decor, decorating tips, and creating a beautiful home on a budget. I am hoping our time together will spark a creative idea, help you plan your next DIY, or inspire you to finally tackle that project you keep putting off. Grab your favorite cup of motivation and let's chat. Hello, and welcome back to the podcast. Today, I want to talk about, I get a lot of my podcast ideas or like the podcast topics from you, from people reaching out to me on email, from people reaching out to me on Instagram. Maybe it's something that I have, somebody asked something inside my Furniture Flipping Academy, or it's on my website. But keep your questions and your comments and your ideas coming. I love to hear from you. But that's where I get a lot of the content and the ideas for this podcast. So please keep them coming. Email me, Lindsay@mycreativedays.com, or reach out to me at mycreativedays on Instagram. I won't share your name or anything, but it just helps me to just understand what questions and things that you guys have and ways that I can help you. So it just helps me to help you. So let's get to this podcast. Social media. I'm just going to go, this is going to be a short, I say that, and then I try to stop myself from saying that. This is going to be a short podcast. I'm just going to list 5 things here. But I usually just go off on a tangent sometimes because I get passionate about this stuff. And so social media and furniture flipping business, or do I have to have a social media presence? Do I have to have a social media channel if I want to have a furniture flipping business? Do you have to do anything? No. Do I encourage you to do this? Yes. I am somebody that I do not have any social media for myself personally. I do not post anything about my family or vacations or anything on any social media platform personally. I just have never wanted to. It's just something I've never wanted. Our kids still don't have social media. They don't have any accounts as well. So, but I do use it, and I have found out that it's amazing for your business. And to be completely honest, if you think about it, every business has a social media presence somewhere. Right? So even your favorite like big box stores, your favorite big brands, your favorite whatever, they have a social media presence, right? And so that's where we all are. That's where we're all consuming content. That's where we're going to learn about things, to figure out if we should buy something, to see what our, favorite people that we follow, what they suggest and what they're doing. And you know what I mean? Like that's where we are. That's where consumers are. That's where, people spend a lot of their time. And so if you are running any kind of business, you definitely need a social media presence. And I'm already going off on a tangent. So let me just say this before I get into my list and just kind of, the 5 main reasons or why you should consider a social media. But number 1, you do not have to have all this is not number 1, sorry. I'm going off on my tangent. But first and foremost, I want to tell you, you do not have to have every social media platform and an account on every social media platform. Do not do that. Do not do that. Do not start out doing that. No. If you have no social media at all for your business, you start with 1 account. And that account is the one where you spend the most time consuming. So if you find yourself on Instagram every day, and that's where you go to just consume, that's where you go for the accounts you love and just to see, the posts and things on there, then you start with Instagram. If you are somebody that goes to TikTok and that's where you like to spend your time, then you start with a TikTok account. But you just start with 1. If it's Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is, you just start with 1. But I think that a lot of people think, oh my gosh, I have to start a YouTube channel and a Pinterest. And Pinterest is not a social media channel. So I should tell you that now. Do not think of Pinterest as a social media platform. It is a search engine. So Pinterest is like YouTube. Pinterest is like Google. YouTube and Google are not social media platforms, right? So think of Pinterest as the same way. You go to Pinterest to search for something. how to make a casserole, how to paint my cabinets, how to, those kinds of things. It is a search engine. It is not a social media platform, but it is still something if you do have it, and it is something that I think you should have if you have a business. It is something, it is one of them that you think about, but don't think you have to have all of these, from day one at all. Once you get going on one and you understand it and you're kind of like, okay, I get it. I'm in the flow of this. I can post to it every day or whatever. Then you can maybe add in your secondary one and so forth. So, okay. Now I'm going to get to my 5 reasons why you should consider creating a social media presence for your furniture flipping business. And really, I say furniture flipping because that was a question that came in, or the comment came in. But this is for anybody that's kind of looking to, do I need to have a social media platform or a presence? Yes. So number one, it showcases your work and your creativity, right? So most social media platforms, not TikTok, Threads, not so much. That's a new one. But like, your Instagram, your Facebook, Pinterest, but Pinterest is not social media. They are visual spaces, right? So you can display your furniture transformations, on those platforms. Great photos, staged photos, videos of your projects as you're working on them. You can just showcase your creativity, your skills, your product, that will, hopefully attract potential customers and followers. So that is number one, a reason why you should have a social media presence for your flipping business. Number 2, building a brand and online presence. So when I first started, I was somebody, like I said, I have no personal social media. And so when I started posting, I was, number one, I didn't know what a like was, and I started with Facebook because I don't think Instagram wasn't around, or it was just coming around or something. I think so Facebook was first. And so I didn't understand like building a brand. Again, when I started my creative days, I was sharing my projects with family and friends. That's what I was doing. I was hoping somebody, when friends would say, how were you doing that? Or when we would do a DIY project or whatever, it was just an easy way for me to, my website was an easy way for me to just put it on there and they could see what we were doing and I could kind of show them what we were doing. But the whole building a brand, it's a social media page allows you to establish words are hard, a brand identity for your furniture flipping business or any business. And I was like, what does that mean when I was starting this and learning about how to do all these things? It actually basically means so that when somebody comes across, let's say you're on Instagram and you're scrolling through, and let's just say for some reason you can't see any of the names, right? But when you come to a certain picture or post or whatever it is, you know immediately what that brand is, what that, creator is, whose post that is. Does that make sense? That's basically what brand identity is, right? And there is like a science behind it. There is like a strategy to do it, right? It's not just post whatever you want and hope, you know what I mean? Like I did in the beginning and learned I was doing it all wrong. But anyway, building a brand and online presence, it's really important. And so you once you have consistent branding, like your logos, your color schemes, themes, your page, it becomes easily recognizable and it becomes memorable. Like, oh my gosh, that is such, that is one of Lindsay's projects, or that is one of Susie and Sally are the 2 names that always come up to me when I am doing these podcasts. And I do not know why, but you want somebody to come across your furniture pieces or your content that you're creating on your social media to say, that is Susie's. Like, I know that's hers. Do you know what I'm saying? So having that strong online presence helps you connect with a broader audience. And it also establishes credibility in your niche and in your content that you're actually creating, and to the audience that's coming either to your account, that's already following you, or new people that are coming to it. Number 3, reach a wider audience. So this is huge. Again, this comes back to me when I said we are all on social media. We are all consuming it. all of our favorite brands and companies have a social media presence because you can reach a wider audience. So if you are just like in the furniture flipping business, if it's just you don't have any social media and you're just, where are you going to post your things? So like even if you're selling, Facebook Marketplace is great, but if you are a furniture flipper wanting to make more money, wanting to scale your business, you have got to think beyond Facebook Marketplace, okay? Even if you are on like Etsy, a lot of sellers will sell their pieces on Etsy. And side note, if you want more money, want to reach a wider audience, Etsy is a great place to list your pieces. Again, that's not a social media presence though. That's not a social, but people come to Etsy to look for, custom furniture, one-of-a-kind pieces, and you can command a lot higher dollar for your pieces on Etsy. And the shipping is not bad. It's easy to do, so don't let that be. If you've been thinking about it, try it. It's something we teach inside the Furniture Flipping Academy. It's definitely something you should think about if you're wanting to reach sell to a broader audience and you want to, ship your pieces and not just sell locally on Facebook Marketplace. But with all that to say, reaching a wider audience, social media platforms have billions of active users worldwide, all the time, all day long, day and night. And so it's an invaluable tool to reach potential customers beyond your local neighborhood area. Do you know what I mean? So, if you utilize hashtags, depending on which platform you're on, are hashtags a thing or not? Like, you need to know that. But engaging with that audience, collaborating with other flippers, collaborating with brands and companies. And like, there's just so many, like this little section here could be an entire podcast episode all by itself, but you can just extend your reach to potential buyers, interior design experts. You can reach brands and companies and contracts, and like there's just so much bigger reach and wider reach if you have a social media presence than if you didn't have any at all. Number 4, it's the community, right? So it's a two-way communication channel between your followers, your audience, and you. You get to interact with them. You get to respond to their comments. You get to address their questions or, right directly, right there. You get to find out what they're looking for, why they're following you, what kind of pieces people are looking for. Once you build that community around your furniture flipping business and you've got that following and it's this social, let's just say it's Instagram, you can actually sell your pieces a lot easier from that community you've created and for a higher price than just selling on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, whatever. So you start building trust. It's that know, like, and trust factor. They start to know you, they start to like your work, and then they start to trust you. So as they're watching your videos or your content of you, picking up a dress or bringing it home, working on it, and then the entire makeover process, you will find that people will just reach out to you and say, okay, I'm buying that. Send this to me. How much do you want? Like, I'm just buying this. And so that community, not only is like the community aspect amazing, and it's just like you like have friends online that you will never meet in person. Like it's just so fun, but you can turn those followers into repeat customers, that, you're not having to pay a fee or you're not having, you know what I mean? Like you're just sharing your work and you can easily sell your pieces just right there from your pages that you are sharing on, just from that community. And then lastly, obviously, is to market and sell your products, which I kind of went into a little bit here in the last one. But it's a great platform for marketing and selling your pieces. And then if you wanted to go like above and beyond just pieces, and maybe you want to get into creating a course, doing a mentorship, coaching one-on-one, like there's just so much besides, when people think about flipping furniture, there's just so much I want you to know. There's so much more than just picking up a dresser, cleaning it, painting it, selling it on Facebook Marketplace. And that is why I created the Furniture Flipping Academy, because I didn't know that from the beginning. And I really want to open up that, what do I want to say? The possibilities. And I want to open up people's minds to, oh my gosh, like what happens if I can't find a dresser? Like you don't have to stress about it because your business is running in so many different ways that, finding a dresser is the last thing on your list of things to get done and ways to make money. And so a social media presence or platform really is a great way for you to market and sell your actual pieces, like I said, but you can market and sell beyond that, if that makes sense. So, you can, brands are looking for people with public social media channels, and they want to have you create for them and for their products. And they want you to share those things. And just think, instead of, let's say it's a dresser, you getting paid from a certain brand to use a product on your piece, and then you get to sell the piece in the end. It's like a double payment for that one piece of furniture. So, it's definitely, you can run ads on your social media platforms as well. So then you can reach a specific demographic and certain audience, and that boosts your visibility for your pieces or your course about furniture flipping, whatever it is. So I think social media, it's so much. If you can hear my dog right now, I'm so sorry. I'm recording this in the summer, and we have kids in and out of this house all day long. And so I'm so sorry. But I'm coming to the end here, though. So thank goodness. So definitely there are reasons beyond. Don't just think, oh my gosh, I have to have all the social media channels, and I have to learn how to run them all, and I have to post to them all. And don't think about that. Think about some of these other things that maybe you haven't heard before, or just like the possibilities of what you can actually grow and, get into, and then get excited about it, and just start with one. Just keep it simple, just like a furniture piece. If you're just starting to flip, start with the simplest, smallest project you can find, and then just build from there. So if you have any questions, if you want, if there's something else that I didn't answer here, or that something you want me to expand on, let me know. You can email me, Lindsay@mycreativedays.com, or you can always reach out to me on Instagram @mycreativedays. I would love to hear from you. And until next time, I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk soon. Hello, friends. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I'm grateful that you tune in every week and that you share the show with your family and friends. I love having creative chit chats with you, and my hope is that this podcast will inspire you to try a new project, start a DIY that you've been putting off, and decorate your home exactly how you want it. There are a few ways you can help us with the podcast. Follow the podcast so you don't miss an episode. And if you could take a few minutes to leave the podcast a review, that would help us so, so much. Again, thank you for being here, and I look forward to our chat next week. Bye-bye.